All of our viewers, thank you so much for choosing us. To all of our dear listeners on U975 FM, Multicultural Radio, all those of you on Synergy TV, on the Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Budusing Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your paper, get your phone so you could store numbers, you could take information that will be relevant and helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Akua George, also in Master Control, Nicholas Rupnarayan. On behalf of our team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a terrific day today. It's Tuesday, the 18th of April, 2023. Happy Tuesday. If you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours, that someone special. Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And it says, "You are the greatest project you will ever work on." So true. You've got to work on yourself first before you fix anybody. Fix yourself. You are the greatest project you will ever work on. That came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. Remember to check them out for all of their daily deals, the food court, and not forgetting they've got that beautiful play area for your children. Check them out, all right? And let's say good morning and a very warm welcome. I'm excited this morning because it's a topic that I think is relevant, and it's important that we have an open discussion and talk about it. And so let's say a very warm welcome to Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin. Morning.
Morning, my dear.
Thank you for being here again. You know, I know that you are very committed. You wear so many different hats, but you always make the time to come here to address, you know, our viewers near and far and our listeners. Protection of our youths.
Well, I listened, as I told you, off the set just now to what the top cop started to say. At least I got a synopsis on the newspapers, and I noticed they're talking about guns, drugs, and youth, and violent crime. And like the expert he's supposed to speak today, I believe, Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen's whole philosophy on this crime thing and gang infestation, criminality, and the murder rate is about the cocaine trade.
Right.
Essentially. Now, remember Karen Teixeira had spoken about the cocaine trade fueling this thing, especially around election time, when the major political parties would take money from the cocaine top gurus.
Right.
Those are the upper levels. So he is saying that a lot of this has to do with cocaine and a small extent the marijuana, all right, the illicit drug trade, fueling the gang, the acceleration or exacerbation of the whole issue of the increasing level of criminality. Now, I was at UE one day, Sister Zelisa, and there was a Latin American expert who spoke about the issue of the same issues of crime and violence and youth. And he presented a summary of his report. And I stood up in the question time and I said I was disappointed in his report because what I realized, and it's the same thing and it's recorded especially in the Express today, while I admit and while I am happy to see that there's some attempt at regionalizing the fight, the struggle against criminality, what I have a problem with is that in these continuing reports, the issue of the godfathers of the drug trade, the importers of the cocaine, we don't grow cocaine here. Now we import marijuana too, we grow it here. The Vinci brand that people feel is the best brand, the highest level of sustained, addiction, and the Jamaica Hydro brand. But the point is, the folks who are importing cocaine and guns, whether you want to do like the Mexican people and say they're going to, the Mexican authorities are planning to sue gun manufacturers in the States, and they feel they have a strong legal case. But the point, let's deal with home first. As you said earlier on, fix your home first. The importers of the drug trade are millionaires, and in some instances, billionaires. Those who create the mafia pyramid, so it goes from the godfathers, the importers, the rich businessmen, to the drug dealers, to the criminal gang leaders, and to the little recruits, you know, who are playing a set of roles, watchmen on the drug turf, couriers delivering from place to place, community to community. What I am disappointed with, and I continue to be disappointed, is that we are not tackling the thing. We want to tackle it below. When Gavin Hira says he don't believe in any state of emergency, but we must get more aggressive with those who are, you know, in the front line, shooting people and that kind of thing. I say to Mr. Hira, I believe we should be more aggressive, but what about those behind the scenes who supplying the guns and hiring the drugs? If you say we must become more aggressive, well, I am saying get aggressive with the blue-collar criminals and get aggressive with the white-collar criminals.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's a lucrative business, we all know.
Yes, sure.
But what is the price? It's a heavy price because it's killing our children.
Sure, 15 to 29 age range.
It's killing our future.
It is virtually, I should say, if I should use another synonym, erasing the future. Yeah. And by the way, all this money we're spending, right, the billions that Dr. Rowley spoke about yesterday, all right, when we talk about on the murders, he's talking about, what, 5,000 from 2011 to 2022, something like that. And when you think about that, we are really erasing and destroying and mortgaging, because all these billions of dollars and the monies we are borrowing from international agencies is for the future leaders to pay back, you know. Our present children will take over the country.
Our children and grandchildren will pay the price.
Will pay the price, of course.
They're going to pay the price. And a
I mean,
heavy price as well.
I have to go to a funeral today of a young man who was murdered and the unborn child.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mention because it's a high-risk security graveyard affair. But what I'm saying is this. And you know what we're not paying, looking at? The whole focus of non-communicable diseases in terms of lifestyle of our youth, the cancer, the diabetes, all of that. We are not looking the psychological challenges, the paranoia, the schizophrenia. We are not looking at all of that in terms of saving and protecting our youth. If we have to protect our youth, all right, we have to protect them from getting recruited and enlisted. Then we have to protect them from some of the same bad choices. You know, I want to tell you something. A lawyer came to me, right? Female lawyer. Said, I want you to go and visit a guy in hospital. He was shot and he's paralyzed. Father, all right, he had some big kids. So I went. The mother was stabbed to death the same night he was paralyzed.
Wow.
And he survived for a little while. Then he too died. And there was a Mercedes-Benz involved. I'm telling you. Now, this guy was trying to change his life, so he moved from illegal activities to legal business. Bought a set of vehicles, party boats, all kind of thing. But the lawyer was the aunt of this guy. So she came to me for intervention. This guy got involved at the edge of the East-West corridor with a known occultic drug dealer. He had them rehearse and get involved in satanic worship activities.
What?
Now people say, you know, Pastor, what you're saying there is true. I mean, I am telling you, all right, this is completely true. And by the way, a lot of our criminals are blood drinkers. A lot of our young criminals who are mentored by adult criminals are blood drinkers. They don't even know what they're getting initiated into. All right? Now, to cut a long story short,
my God.
The adults in the family told the young boy that Mercedes-Benz could be a debt. Don't flaunt it. But he fought them. It became an issue where I think he felt that they were trying to steal the car from him, his father's vehicle. All right, here what happened now. Took out the Mercedes-Benz, started to flaunt with it because this come like a nuclear bomb in his hand, is a toy with a nuclear bomb in his hand. went where I'm living, not too far from where I live in, played basketball, park up, and it's right there they kill him.
Oh, no.
Right there they killed him. That's another one biting the dust. So, as the song was said, I think it was Mighty Duke, how many more must die? That was when he sang about the apartheid situation. Excellent social and political commentary. How many more must die? And we have to ask that question too. How many more must die? And I want to tell you, parents, leaders, police officers. Now, yesterday, I think Mia Motley touched a sore nerve in talking about rotating judges who become too comfortable in their own national jurisdictions. You know where she's going there? She's going there with the issue of corruption.
But I agree with her, you know.
And hear this. And Ralph Gonsalves, the Prime Minister of Guyana, went into the issue of the inequity of punishment, judicial preferential treatment. So both of them, when you watch what both of them are saying, they are more than hinting at the element of corruption and inconsistency at the level of our legal and judicial professions.
Agreed.
They're going there. And that is not good for young people, and it doesn't inspire hope. So those of us, that's why I told you about this guy, Casanova, all right? He is a 17-year-old boy, just got a scholarship to do medicine in Mona, all right? He won a quiz, all right, a challenge quiz, around for 54 years, and he, all right, got the scholarship by virtue of winning the challenge quiz. He's from St. Catherine's in Jamaica, which is no rich place, and he was determined. He told the media, and I follow this. One of my goals in life, one of my dreams, and I fulfill it now, is to get on social media and highlight all the positive youth from any part of the world,
Very nice.
from any race, from
Very
any
nice.
religion.
Yeah.
You know, I have a broad worldview.
Because that's inspiring others as well, especially.
Of course. And I read that story, and I salivated, I must tell you. I said, for all my graduation speeches, and I have one coming up Friday, all my graduation speeches, I'm going to include him. He's a Caribbean youth, he's young, he's 17 years old, by the way, he's a black kid, and I'm going to highlight him among the other people that I have already highlighted.
Brilliant.
You know, that is where we have to go. So that we have to have a national strategic plan with this criminality, and nobody mentioned it yesterday, I believe. We need to have a national grief campaign. We have to establish an institution to allow that to take place. Apart from that, we have to have a national campaign to save our youth. I have made reference to this on the media last week. And that is the issue of, we have a Ministry of Youth and National Service. But I'm hearing nothing about national service.
We hear nothing about it.
No, nothing about
It's
it.
as if it's dead.
Right. Well, I don't know. It's not Max Richards, or former president, said, instead of thinking of the next election, we should think about the next generation. And that is just a heavy statement. And we have to align that with and recalibrate what we are doing now and reset, you know, to make that a reality. But we are losing too many youth.
But Pastor, if we cannot fix the youth of today and we cannot get our house in order, how can we even start to begin to think about the next generation?
No, I wish I had a chance, but I was not invited. I don't think the regime today would invite me to a program like that, even to address it, if you please. But I have said, and I mean it with all my heart, we are not concerned about eliminating crime.
No.
What we are concerned about is putting pressure on the perpetrators at the blue-collar level, at the poor level. But the truth is, all right, what we want to do is decrease the murder rate. And if the murder rate goes down to a significant extent, we couldn't care less. So our goal, our desire, is to reduce the murder rate, not necessarily eliminate crime. Because I will tell you, white-collar crime is keeping up part of our economy. I'm telling you, we are at transshipment point. We're involved in transnational vicious practices like human trafficking. And you know, it's like we go in up and down, up and down. So we hear a lot about human trafficking. Yes, it is said that we have an opposition MP who is involved, or people in parliament involved in human trafficking. For goodness sake, where's the action?
Yeah.
If you have that, it's like the police always say.
You have the information and you're still not doing anything about it.
It's like when the police, a fella gets shot and killed. They say, he was well known to us. Well, so what happened?
Agreed.
Anybody was talking to him? And I have made a remark that the papers carried last week, because I went to Dinesh Rambali's crime symposium in Philly City, and that had huge coverage. All it was supposed to be a private affair. And I made the statement that sometimes we have a plan, but we don't roll out the plan because we think it will affect us too much in the long term. I remember a young guy from Cocorite. Cocorite has become a hot spot. And that guy came into my car one day and said, Pastor, let me tell you something. Is cocaine keeping up the economy? So we don't want to stop that.
And you got that firsthand.
Oh, you mean? Firsthand.
With that, we've got to take our first break. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin and talking about crime, speaking about our youth and how to move forward. I want you to be involved in this program as well today. Particularly, let's hear your voices, your concerns. When we return, I'm going to open up the telephone line and give you the opportunity to join in on the conversation, or you can send me a WhatsApp message. I'll read it to Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin and he will respond. Do continue to stay with us. We'll return after these important messages.
Visit Fab India Expo at the White Tent opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Get the latest fashion, Indian and Western garments, and just in time for Eid, we've got Islamic wear available. Getting married or attending a wedding? Then this is the place for you. From bridal to elegant wear with matching jewelry and footwear. Curtains starting at $4 for $100. Also available shirts, belts, watches, wallets, sportswear, and ladies' tops. Need to pick up lunch or dinner? Well, check our food court. All available at the Fab India Expo from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Final few booths left at the Mid-Center Mall Mid-Year Flea Market. Call 340-6565. Starting the 6th of May until the 30th of May. Call now to book your spot. 340-6565.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome to OATS, Optimal Alternative Treatment Solutions Limited, the future of healthcare, which provides full body scans, which we detect and treat cancer, tumors, all heart conditions, cysts, fibroids, dementia, Parkinson's, just to name a few. No radiation and medication is not needed. If you are tired of getting no results, call us at 354-4459 or 356-7226.
Welcome back to the program, Conversations with Zelisa. In conversation, you know, there's always a conversation behind the scenes. In conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin, today we're talking about protection of our youth. We're talking about violence. We're talking about corruption. And we're particularly talking about our youth and their future. Pastor, I know that you sent our director and myself something.
Yes, that is values.
Yeah, and it's about values. And director, if you could put that up, please, and I will read it. So as you put it up, so don't let it go too fast. I'll have to read it so that our listeners on the radio station on U975 can understand what's happening. And it's about values. So if we could get it up, we could start off this segment with that. And let's see. One day, a young man asked his grandfather, "Grandpa, how could you live before Without technology, without internet, without computer, without drones, without Bitcoin, without mobile phones, without Facebook. The grandfather replied, just like your generation lives today without humanity, without dignity, without compassion, shameless, without honor, without respect, without personality, without character, without love, without modesty. We today, that you call us old, have been blessed. Our life is the test. When Eiling, you never use the Hamlet. After school, we did our homework alone and always went to play in the meadows until sunset. We played with real friends, not with friends on the internet. If ever we were thirsty, we drank water from the fountain, not from bottled water. We never got sick of using the same glass with our friends. We never got fat eating bread and pasta every day. Nothing happened to our feet even though we walked barefoot. We created our toys with our own hands and played with them. Our parents were not rich, but they gave us so much love. Not video games to keep us good. We never had cell phones, DVDs, PlayStations, Xbox, video games, personal computers, internet, but we had real friends. We visited the house of our friends without being invited and enjoyed with them bread and oil for a snack. The adult family members lived nearby to enjoy the time amongst them. We may have had black and white photos, but we find very colorful memories in those photos. We are a unique and more comprehensive generation because we are the last generation who listened to their parents and also the first that had to listen to their children. We are a limited edition. Pastor, that's really deep and it's really nice and it's really true.
Well, it's dealing with
Thank
several
you.
issues there.
It did actually.
Dealing with the issue of technology has manipulated us and virtually sucked away the things in life that produce authentic happiness. The pristine, beauty of relating to each other in the outdoors. The issue of diet, talk about bread and pasta, talk about the PlayStations and the DVDs and the phones, the cell phones and the Android and the smartphones and all of that. And grandpa is telling the grandson, but we were happy. We didn't have friends on Facebook, but we had real friends.
Real friends.
We went on we built our own toys. Lord have mercy. So technology, what he's saying, is killing us. And he says we were happy, we had dignity, we had decency, we had class.
Very true.
We had genuine relationships. We had real friends, people you could trust. So it's a lot, you see that? You just showed there, it's a lot of stuff in that. So if we have to protect our youth, we have got to bring them back to nature. We've got to help them make the right choices. We have got to protect them from themselves, if you please. We have got to be role models. The grandpa, right? He was a role model, all right? And his parents before him modeled positive values to him. So he didn't think he needed all the technology in the world, all right, to be an honest, happy person. The big problem in the world today is how we merge honesty with happiness. Now that is huge, the two H's.
It is.
And then we have a third H, health. Honesty, happiness, and health. And if we make the right choices health-wise, Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor from that vampire called Hitler, he said that if you want to be happy, you have to be engaged in making others happy. And he came up with this thing called logotherapy, the power of the word, the power of influence, the power of effective mentorship. And I remember in the book that just got written by him, I never had it before. It was produced long ago, but it's a classic. He said one day they hit him in a line the line where Hitler had them working under subhuman conditions. And he said, and then they treated a guy who was guilty of nothing unjustly. And he said, this sting of injustice is harsher than 1,000,000 blows. The sting of injustice. So we have to really, to protect our youth, make sure that we fix the justice systems, because otherwise the young people get discouraged when they see injustice flowing from the halls of justice. I tell parents, you may have favorites at home, but in your home must be a hall of justice, so that you don't favor some and disfavor others. You have to have a system in your home where you dish out punishment equally. All right? You have the same standard for everybody, because this impacts upon young people in a big way. When the home of itself, where they expect to be justly treated, is the hall of injustice. And
they feel less than who they are in their own home, in their own environment.
Another thing we have to watch out is to protect our youth from harsh comments after they fail. After they fail, and the failure is announced. I think most parents cannot cope when their children tell them they have failed, all right, and they have not brought home the results that everybody was expecting of them. You know, we call them dunces, you know, no goods and that kind of thing. And that inscribes a message on the cortical space. And we have got to understand that. So we have to protect our youth, yes, from the criminals out there. We have to protect them from themselves. We have to protect them from the negative use of technology. We've got to protect them from, you know, low dreams and having a low self-worth. We have to protect them from people who would do them harm, who they call their friends, right? But we also have to protect them from godless influences. We have to, you know, protect them. I am very happy about the girl who got shot and killed last night in Temple Street. But she should know, I mean, Temple Street has been well known for having some very, what I call world-class narco champions. And it's not the first girl. There's another girl in Arimo who was shot and killed 1:22 in the morning in Pinto Road. Another disastrous, have some disastrous cells in Pinto Road. So that we have got to tell the young people, get real. This liming out late and nobody protecting you out there. And you just think you could drink and smoke and have a great time. Lord have mercy. You have to understand.
Young women, very young girls being
and then I want to tell you,
with 3 and 4 different partners.
And then we have to protect them, yes, from this poly partnership thing. There are a lot of our young girls having sex with a number of men. And unprotected sex too, you know. Because when you hear about COVID and cancer and about AIDS, that going underground, but it's real.
It's real, it's alive, it's
You're playing, hello, young girls, you are playing Russian roulette with your lives. And you have multiple sex partners. And it's unsafe because a lot of men end up killing girls and killing each other because of that same infidelity issue. It's a heavy issue in the criminal underworld. All right? It's a heavy issue where standards are reached so low. But listen, before we close off this section, have you heard about the International Commission of Jurists, which work under the aegis of United Nations? There are some of them. There's a push at United Nations for legalizing sex with minors, you know. There's a strong, strong push. And we might not have all the time we want to discuss it today, but we have to launch a campaign against that.
Against it. We can't allow
sex with minors. So pedophiles will feel all right.
It's okay to do what you're doing with little girls.
We are in a huge crisis in this world. And you know, I didn't hear much about morality and spirituality yesterday. Perhaps they will deal with that today. Because I know there was a pundit invited, but he ended up not going. But what I'm saying is, those are issues tied, the whole issue of values, moral and spiritual values, cannot be underestimated if we have to protect our young people from making bad choices.
And it starts in the home.
Starts in the home.
Proper parenting.
You know how many young people grown up in homes where they never saw their parents pray?
No.
Where they never prayed to their parents.
They don't know anything about praying.
You know what family worship or
they don't
temple
know
worship?
Anything about thanking God and praying and having understanding the greatness of God.
That is a huge issue that the society is running from. All right, because the society wants a secular world, and they feel they can have happiness without God. That is huge. and they're in denial about it. I see what's happening in America. That same fall of values in America and the amount of cluster shootings and group shootings, school shootings again.
Out of control.
Out of control. And the society, our society here, is going in that same direction. In America, of course, we have to sneeze, you know.
When we follow fashion, everything.
Follow fashion. We are copycats. Sorry to say it.
But
we are
truth.
copycats.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Very true. This is the program Conversations with Zelisa, and I want to remind you when we return, I know I promised to open up the telephone line, but when we return we will, 3847142, or you could send me a WhatsApp message. Let me say good morning to Jen out there in Jamaica. Thank you so much for your comments, and of course to all of our viewers near and far and our listeners, thank you so much for choosing us. Let's go to these messages.
Farm India Expo has great deals to offer for the month of April. Get showers starting from $100, curtains 4 for $100, bed sheets 2 for $100, footwear from $75. Look elegant with our one-of-a-kind in-house designer garments. Spend $1,500 and over to get tickets to Bollywood singer Abhijit live in concert on May 6th. Just in time for Eid. New containers just arrived. Check us out for the latest Islamic wear. Need to pick up lunch or dinner? Then check us at the Farm India Food Court from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Final few booths left at the Mid-Center Mall Mid-Year Flea Market. Call 340-6565 starting the 6th of May until the 30th of May. Call now to book your spot. 340-6565.
You have to be there. You must be there. When? Saturday evening, the 22nd of April, in the Kelly Village. You know, there's been a community integrated project involving the police, business, the church, the youth clubs, NGOs, and it is turning out to be a fantastic success. So we're having a major anti-drug, anti-crime march with the theme, Unite to Fight. Saturday, the 22nd of April, okay? At the Camachi's Restaurant Car Park. We assemble here. You must be there. You have to be there. If you want to win the battle against crime, you just have to come and participate in this wonderful pilot project. God bless you.
Visit Agri Savers Limited, number 19 Orange Grove Trace, St. Augustine, for all your agriculture, livestock, pet, agri-equipment, hydroponics, cannabis, fishing tackle supplies and much more. Open Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Contact 473-6074, 663-1094. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Program Conversations with Zelisa. I'm in conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin, and today we're talking about protection of our youth, where we're heading in the future. What sort of future are we creating or providing for our children who are going to be leaders? These are the innocent children of today who are going to be the adults of tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They're going to be our leaders, and if we don't continue to inculcate the right morals and values and teach them the right things, what sort of future are we creating for them or for ourselves?
You know, Zelisa, I was, again in our back off camera conversations, I must tell you, one of the major items, you notice the amount of women are being shot and killed now?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you this, Sister Zelisa, a lot of our young men, our young women are going in very dangerous places. Not only are they shot and killed, but missing. I think that has to be top of the agenda today at that national, regional crime symposium. But you know what's happening, huh? What is driving some of this? There are a number of our young women who are going from gangster to gangster in terms of sexual relationships, Boyfriend, girlfriend. That is huge.
That is huge. I don't know if if parents are not teaching their daughters about the value of their body and the value of who they are and to respect themselves, but these young girls that are sleeping around, that are promiscuous at very young ages, I mean, what are you doing to your body? What are you doing to yourself? You know, your character, your life, your future. What are you really doing?
And going from gang to gang.
Gang to gang and
Yes,
getting yourself involved in this. Allow me to read this that came in
Yes,
from one
sure,
of our
sure.
viewers, and it says, "Hi Zelisa, even though my parents did not go to church, they made sure we went and woke us up before 6 a.m. to say prayers. We had to respect everyone, say good morning, help the elderly, and always say thanks. When my brothers stole people's mangoes, they had to go back with my mother and her belt. We had to share with others. And when big people were talking, we had to disappear. Every child had house chores to do." Let me tell you something, that's true. You see that thing about big people talking? I remember people came home and asked my parents, "You all don't have any children?" Because when big people were talking, we were nowhere to be seen. You can't be in big people talk and getting involved in that. That's not your place.
Well, recently I went to a home facing a huge crisis last week. And at a point in time I wanted to talk to the mother alone, and I told the children, go inside. And they were big kids, huh? Big kids. Huh?
Yes.
I told them, go inside. All right? And you touched on an issue there that the person who wrote the message on WhatsApp. The issue of responsibility in the home.
Chores.
Because some parents have a nasty way of saying, well, I went through, my children mustn't go through. And they're talking about responsibility. So what happened? The child must be on the PlayStation and in front of cable TV whole day. You know, some children are going to bed, and that will have serious, parents, I warn you, and guardians, and grandparents, that is going to have serious effects on your child. On the phone, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then taking a 2-hour sleep. And when they sleep in the classroom, they can't absorb anything.
Yeah, they can't even get up in the morning. They have no energy.
And you know, the medical experts and the psychologists talk a lot today about the impact of sleep deprivation.
Yeah,
on the body. Sleep deprivation. I want to tell you too that another thing we're not looking at in terms of protection of the family is the issue, you know, that I have to mention it here. All right, the issue of sour relationships in the home. All right, where there's a cuss out, where they're accusing each other, where they blame each other.
No respect for each other,
all
and
right.
then what your children are over here.
Yes, yes.
And then even with mothers as well, being promiscuous.
Well, no, I was about, you stole it from my mouth. I'm about to come to that. The issue of parents selling their children, all right, to criminal elements just to get money, just to get the money. So you're prostituting your son or your daughter to earn.
You know, you're very correct. It's not just daughters. They're doing it. They're allowing their sons as well.
Yes. You're
true.
correct on that. So that is a major Mount Everest that we have to face. If we don't face it, we are going to be in very serious problems. You know, another thing the psychologists talk about, Zelisa, that we have to protect our children from is the issue of displaced aggression. At home, at school, the issue of this, what is displaced aggression? Displaced aggression is whereby you are being abused, but you do not know how to manage the abuser. You have no control over the abuser. So when you're in your own space, on your own job, you take it out on people who cannot challenge you. You understand what's going on there? So the teacher who is being abused at home by her husband is violent herself in the school when she meets the children. Mm-hmm. She lost her patience. She's anxious. Mm-hmm. She's almost paranoid, if you please. She's displaying psychotic reactions, you know, in terms of how she disciplines the students in the school, because she is a victim of abuse. hurt people, hurt people.
Yeah.
I say that over and over.
I've learned that
hurt
from
people.
you.
And by the way, Zelisa, we have a lot of hurt people
You know,
in this society.
You made a point there that's really real and very true, because I've noticed that many times I would look at teachers, observe them, and they don't know how to smile. They simply, and it's because perhaps there's something that is deep that's happening within themselves.
There's a deep
they
hurt.
they just don't know how to smile.
You know, I'm dealing with a lot of cancer patients these days. Breast cancer, women, men, prostate cancer. Some because they smoke their lives away. Lung cancer. They come back to the NCDs, what we call the lifestyle diseases. You know, and cancer is a way of spreading. And they call it in medical jargon metastasis. It changes position. It travels all over. But you know, you have the emotional cancers that take over the body.
Correct.
Just as a physical cancer. And so depression kicks in, suicidal tendencies kick in. So now there's a lot of unresolved guilt. You know, unresolved guilt. Unresolved hurt inside there, and it's bottled up. Listen, talk it out. Get a friend, get a shoulder, you know, get a heart. Relate to somebody. Do not stay there and swim in your own ocean of destruction. You're going to drown.
Yeah.
That is what is going to happen to you. So talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody, and talk to somebody that will
mature.
give you, mature, that will give you constructive criticism as well, and tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Because very often when you talk to people, is either they take your business and take it outside and the whole world knows about it, or they tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. But it's important that you understand and you know what you need to hear. That is important. That will make the change to help you be a better you and to make better choices, and that is important as well. Who's influencing you?
Exactly.
Who's advising you? Who's your advisor? Or who is the person that you could confide in? You know, things like that, extremely important.
Is your friend really a friend, or is he or she an enemy?
Correct. Correct.
How you define friendship?
How do you define friendship? Do we really have true friends now?
Decreasing number.
Do we really have true friends? How many true friends do you think you really have, you know?
And this is something that we have to work with young people on. It doesn't happen overnight. And, you know, David Field says that we need to have what he calls a bonded family. And he says one of the hallmarks of a bonded family is the issue of dialogue. Space and time that is assigned for dialogue. Most families have no dialogue.
Most
you know when they have dialogue? When there is the surfacing of the challenge. A problem comes.
I also see, and I hear it via this show, in terms of family conflict. You're not talking to siblings for years. You're cursing each other, total disrespect. And you wonder if they came from the same womb. They grew up in the same house. They ate from the same pot of food. And you know, you haven't spoken to your family for years.
Well, let me tell you something. One place where that is manifested big time. I have information about 2 businesses in Port of Spain, owned by families. And because they can't manage a conflict, those 2 traditional businesses are going to collapse.
Because of family disputes.
Yes, family disputes.
Land and money.
Ooh,
material things.
Don't talk about that.
Because I think people don't realize that when you die and you go to the great beyond, you take absolutely nothing with you. What is left, however, would be the character and the sort of person that you were.
And
what
you know,
did you do
Zelisa,
to make
I
a
tell
difference?
before we go to a break, I tell people, even that funeral I had for Tony Gonzalez yesterday was an enormous singing evangelist. You know, I tell him how many homes we could put in the coffin. You know, supposing you could carry something. You know, how many plots of land, how many swimming pools. I mean, it's just crazy, this latching on an addiction to material stuff.
We've become very materialistic.
Extremely so. And we miss what is really valuable in life.
And we've allowed money. We've allowed money to take
God of
control.
money, the God of money.
the god of money. Evil, the root to all evil, as they say.
Of course.
Let's go to these important messages. 3847142. You can call us after the program, after this break, or you can send us your messages. I'll be happy to read it to Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin. Stay with us.
Visit Fab India Expo at the White Tent opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Get the latest fashion, Indian and Western garments, and just in time for Eid, we've got Islamic wear available. Getting married or attending a wedding? Then this is the place for you. From bridal to elegant wear with matching jewelry and footwear. Curtains starting at $4 for $100. Also available shirts, belts, watches, wallets, sportswear, and ladies' tops. Need to pick up lunch or dinner? Well, check our food court. All available at the Fab India Expo from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Final few booths left at the Mid-Center Mall Mid-Year Flea Market. Call 340-6565 starting the 6th of May until the 30th of May. Call now to book your spot. 340-6565.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trin-City. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome to OATS, Optimal Alternative Treatment Solutions Limited, the future of healthcare, which provides full body scans, which we detect and treat cancer, tumors, all heart conditions, cysts, fibroids, dementia, Parkinson's, just to name a few. No radiation and medication is not needed. If you are tired of getting no results, call us at 354-4459 or 356-7226.
Conversations with Zelisa, in conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Dottin. Welcome back, Pastor. And
Thank you, my dear.
We just don't talk to someone as if you are just giving advice or counsel. We have to show them we can listen without condemning and show that we care about them. Very true. Great show. I'm watching. Thank you so much. That's Natalie. Yeah. So 3847142, if you'd like to call in and join in on the conversation, your perspective, your advice, or you can send us a WhatsApp message, 3847142. Leave the number up there so that our viewers and for the listeners on U975 FM, the number is 3847142. Give us a call or send us a message. I'll read it to Doctor.
In this last segment, while we're waiting on the calls, on the messages, I want to discuss the issue of establishment of boundaries in the home.
Now, I love that.
We want to establish boundaries outside, in the school, in the church, but we don't want to establish boundaries in the home. In
because
words,
that's where it starts.
It must, and hello, you have got to appreciate, you have got to help the child appreciate that boundaries are part of life. If you don't have boundaries. Correct. All right, the whole society.
Listen, my daughter says, Mommy, there are consequences to my choices, because that is something I teach her. When you make a choice, there are consequences to it.
Right.
So think before you speak, think before you act.
And promises that are made are not kept, right? Be it in the positive or the negative, hurts because the child feels you're joking, you're not serious.
You're not committed.
There are boundaries. In other words, in this home, you can't attempt to lash me. That's a boundary one time. As you raise your hand, you cross the boundary.
Yeah, because, listen, there are children who spit on their parents.
Who beat them, who kick them, who cuff them down.
And mash up things and carry on and slam in door. and playing the Stoopson and all of that. Stop it.
Parents, draw the line.
Yeah, you have to draw
And
the line.
insist. And I spoke to a parent recently this weekend. I went deep south. And that parent told me, Pastor, I have told my children they cannot behave this way and stay in this house.
I agree.
They cannot.
But I agree with that. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Well, this is truly a blessed morning for me because I have been listening to you over time, but more especially through different medium to Pastor Dottin. Pastor Dottin, a special good morning to
Good morning.
you. Pastor Dottin, well, I'm not hearing you because
Yeah.
I have my TV muted.
Yeah, so he's listening and he just waved hello.
Okay, but hear what? I am a retired primary school teacher.
Nice.
I have always respected Pastor Dottin's views on everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't take sides. Everything about him is biblically based, and I can only say biblical because I'm a Christian. I can't say from any other perspective. But Pastor Dottin, I really need to talk to you, and I would like to get a phone contact number with you. My daughter, well, I don't want to give the information because people will know who I am, but had a terrible situation. So I would like to get a contact number for you, and especially now that the topic of violence and crime and young people is so high on the agenda, gender abuse, child abuse, women abuse, I really would like to share some information with you that I cannot on the air.
Okay.
So you have a pleasant day. May God stretch your life like elastic.
Have mercy.
And may you continue to serve in this
God
part of
bless.
the vineyard until He's ready to receive you. You will go and go and go. I know all the work that you do. I follow you. I've been following you for years. So may God bless you with health, strength, and a long life.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now this
God
is what
bless.
I want to say to this person. Hello, are you there?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So I would want you to send a WhatsApp to this number requesting, and I'll send you his assistant's number so that you can make an appointment. All right?
I have his assistant's
Oh.
number, and we have been trying to get an appointment
Okay.
with no avail. That's why I
All
really
right.
wanted to
Listen.
Okay,
Listen.
so listen to what Pastor is saying now.
So let's send another number to you.
Yes,
Today,
Pastor.
send
I'm
an,
not hearing you.
let me call the number out. 223.
223.
Hey, Joshua, let me get my pen. Oh gosh, this is
Well, if you're calling for a number, you should be prepared, huh? I'll say it off air. Go ahead, Pastor. 223, because our time is
Yeah,
limited.
223 3885. That's my office number, and leave a phone number for me to call.
223-3885.
That's right.
223-3885. Call that number and you'll get some sort of assistance, yeah? And to the other calls that were coming, the line is free now. You can call and speak with Pastor one-on-one. Pastor?
Yes, so that I want to say the establishment of boundaries, all right? Sometimes it means if you want to have a private conversation with your spouse, mother.
Hello?
Yes,
Sorry.
welcome.
Yes, Satan was very busy. My phone went dead when you were telling me
223-3885, ma'am. 223-3885.
3885.
Yes, thank you.
This morning,
Yeah, sorry, Pastor. Go right ahead.
Yes, so what I'm saying, for example, if you say there are areas in the home when you and your wife or you and your husband speaking, and the children should not intervene, they should be in their bedrooms.
Agreed.
Boundaries established.
Time and place
there.
for everything, man. Agreed.
If you say, for example, that you're not to go over unannounced to the neighbor's home, all right, or to come home after 9, all right. If you're a young adult, if you're a child, the school is finishing at 2:30. By at least a reasonable time, let's say is 4. If that child is coming home at 6, they've crossed the boundary
Yeah.
for entrance into your home. at a particular time.
And I really feel, I know sometimes it's difficult, but I really feel children, young children, if you
Yes.
school at 2:30, it means that you are young, you're under 10.
Of course.
And you should not be left unattended, and that's what's been happening. A lot of kids are left unattended.
Unsupervised.
Yeah.
The unsupervised child.
Good morning and welcome.
This Zelisa.
Yes.
I'd like to speak to Zelisa and Pastor.
Okay, he's listening to you.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning. Speak a little harder.
Okay, and first take the volume down on your television. That's the first rule.
What happened is that morning?
So we have a delay, and that's because you're not following the rule. And the rule is the volume of your television has to be down. There's a delay. So, Pastor.
Yes, I'm sorry we missed him. But I want to say that part of the responsibility of those in charge of children, the unsupervised child is a danger.
Yeah.
It's a danger particularly to the child. Because you know sometimes children do not believe they're in danger. When they're in absolute danger,
they're in danger.
it's a part of the, what we call it, naivety of the child at that stage of his or her life. And we have to use our experience to educate the child, because I'll tell you with some children have to burn to learn. They are not going to just take your word for it. Or stories of your experience. All right? That is important, that we understand that children, some of them, they are inexperienced and they don't have that ability to absorb what you are saying. They're not very believing. They feel they're just trying to control them.
So when we have kids like that, what do we do?
What do we do is that we give them an insight into possibilities, negative and positive. Based on as you said, you tell your child there are choices and there are consequences.
Yeah, yeah.
Great choices, great consequences. Sometimes you have great choices and bad consequences because people around you hate you. They don't like you, they reject you, they keep you on the outer shell. You know, that's what's happening there. And you have to be strong enough to stand up. I heard a quotation I read it this morning. When you stand up, all right, you stiffen the spines of others. I love that. In other words, their backbone, you know, gets added strength. That is so important.
It is.
And you have to understand and appreciate that. All right? And parents, your child will thank you years after. You know?
Yeah.
They mightn't thank you now, but they will thank you years after. And this is vitally important.
I have a parent saying they claim they have to make their own mistakes.
Yes.
Some children say outright, you know, and I understand what she's saying, because there are children who say, well, I need to be my own individual. Let me make my own mistake. You understand?
But with that, I want to warn the child that you may not be able to cope when the consequences come. They are so shocked. They are so traumatized.
Can you cope and can you deal with those consequences?
That's
I love
right.
that. So
That's
what
right.
you say.
Of course.
What a nice way to end things off.
Sure.
Your closing remarks
My
for
closing
today.
comments, I want to tell folks, you know, there's a term that is being bandied around. It's a very complex term. It is called psychoneuroimmunology. Psychoneuroimmunology. And that is the impact of positive thinking, all right, on your life, or negative thinking on your life. And you know, when you have positive thoughts, you generate reaffirming, rejuvenating, even the cells are rejuvenated when you have positive thinking. Never underestimate the role of positive thinking in your life. God bless.
That is so true. What a beautiful message to end things off. I thank you kindly. May God continue to bless you richly. We are always humbled in your presence and always grateful for the, sharing the advice. It's years of knowledge and experience that with that beautiful combination that you could share. So this is where we wrap things up. And, here's reminding you that with God, all things are possible. Please respect the law of the land. And, the lessons that you've learned today, apply to your lives. Talk to your children. Have conversations with them. Have an open mind, and always respect the law of the land. I am Zelisa Budusing Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us. Do continue to stay with us on the new U975 FM Multicultural Radio. Stay with us.